Hey guys, what is up? It's Luke G here, MTG with Luke G. I know you're going crazy right now because I haven't put out any videos for Magic the Gathering in like forever. And the reason for that is I've been doing a lot of moving. I haven't really been able to get to any tournaments or anything like that. But what I did last time, a new set came out. I released what I thought, in my personal opinion, are the cards you should be looking out for. And it helped out a lot of people. I got a bunch of views. I got thousands of views on my other videos that I made. And I'm starting in this one. I'm going to do the white cards you should be looking for when you're drafting. And real quick, I want to just say Dark Ascension looks like a very interesting set. As far as drafting goes, I didn't see a lot of crazy good cards in this set, but it is a small set. It has 158 cards. It's not a core set. It's not a main set. So you're going to have less cards, which means you're going to have 3 packs, as you can see on the far left there. You get 3 packs of Dark Ascension, which means you're going to get a lot of the same card. You're going to see probably like a lot of commons. You might get 4 or 5 of them. So look out for those. It's really important to find some really good commons that are really good, and you can just get multiples of them, and it really puts pressure on your opponent. But let's go ahead and get into that. And before I get into it, I actually want to cover right there. As you can see, the pre-releases are January 28th through the 29th. A lot of game stores. Look in your area. Search on Google which stores around you actually are going to be having these parties and everything like that. The actual release date is February 3rd. So these aren't actually going to go into effect until February 3rd. You can't actually purchase booster packs until February 3rd, but you can draft all you want all weekend long. A lot of places like to do it all weekend long. I used to go to Super Games down in Georgia when I lived there, and you would go on Saturday and you would just boom, 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 just keep doing drafts like crazy over and over and over again. So that's something you should really be looking into, and something that I think you all are going to like. So without further ado, let's get to it, and here we go. Here we are. Now white, I wasn't too crazy happy about white. Last time we did this, there was a bigger set, there's more cards and everything, but this time there are less cards, and I'm only going to have 8 cards out of white that I really like for drafting. They aren't the best cards in the set. The other colors look a little stronger. White was really strong last set. So it's going to be really interesting to see when you do Dark Ascension and Innistrad into a draft together, because white is not super strong in this set, but it does have some cool mechanics. Let's start off first here. First card on the top left is Hollow Hedge Spirit. And what it is a 4 for 2/2, and it has Flash, which I love Flash. It's awesome. You can do combat tricks. You know, on his turn, he can go to attack or something. You could be like, boom, put that in play. You got a blocker. It's awesome. Flash is always really cool ability, and usually they have like a come into play effect when they do have Flash, which you're going to see here. He has flying, and whenever he comes into battlefield, remove target attacking or blocked creature from the combat, which is awesome. Now, it doesn't remove it from the game forever, it just removes it from combat, and then it will return. Obviously, you're not going to lose the creature, you're not going to take away a creature, but it's definitely something good, especially when you have a smaller set like this. It's an uncommon, so you're going to see it a lot. You may get 3 or 4 of this guy. It's very possible. You may get most likely 2 or 3, but if you do get this guy, he's definitely cool. He's got a cool mechanic behind him. He's a spirit, and there's a lot of cool spirit things in this set. Let's move on to the next card here. Increasing Devotion. Now, it's a sorcery. It's the only thing I don't like about it, but check it out. Put 5 1/1 white human creature tokens onto the battlefield. Now, one downside too is usually when you see cards like this, the creatures have flying. In this case, they don't, which is good. I mean, it adds attackers onto the battlefield, but check this next part out. If Increasing Devotion was cast from the graveyard, put 10 tokens into play instead. It's not bad. The flashback does cost 9, so it's kind of a late game, save your ass type thing. But I do like this card. It's not my favorite pick out of all 8 of these here, but it is pretty interesting. The next card here is Niblis of the Mist. It's a 3 for a 2/1 flyer. When he enters the battlefield, you may tap target creature. Very interesting card, especially if you want to get some early damage through. And flyers are all about getting early damage through, putting pressure on your opponent. And I've told you, like I've told a lot of videos, that flyers are a very cool aspect of the game, and they're a really easy way to beat some people that are kind of newbie and not really that great at Magic the Gathering. Next card here, we have another flyer, 2 for a 1/1, and whenever he attacks, you may tap target creature. That is good. That is a really good card. Now I know he's only a 1/1. He's not gonna crush your opponent, but let's say that you have a 6/6 and he has a 6/6, and you have this guy too. You swing with both your creatures. You tap his 6/6, so he doesn't have a blocker, and boom! Look, you just got 6 damage through. Pretty nice card. I like it. Not my favorite, but it is definitely a cool card. Next, Requiem Angel. I just love that name. That's a pretty sweet name for a card. It does cost 6. It's kind of pricey for a creature, but he's a 5/5 flyer. So if you get this guy into play, probably mid to late game, it's going to put a lot of pressure on your opponents and really make him have to use removal cards to get rid of this, because it's going to put a clock on your opponent. He's a big flyer that a lot of creatures can't handle. Now he does have a cool little text here. Whenever another non-spirit creature you control dies, you put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. That right there makes him really powerful. If you can use some other kind of card to get this guy into play early game, that's great. But when he comes into play, you know, if you're late game and you're blocking and you're about to die or something like that, you keep getting 1/1 flyers and you can get through some damage with those flyers. So this guy is definitely not a bad card. Next card here is a very interesting one. It's called Seance. It costs 4 for an enchantment. At the beginning of each upkeep, it could be your upkeep, it could be his upkeep, you may exile a target creature card from your graveyard. If you do, put a token of that creature onto the battlefield. That's a copy of that creature, except it's a spirit in addition to its other types, and exile it at the end of the next end step. Now, I'm not sure about the 100% about the ruling on that. If the next end step isn't the end step like for next turn's end step, but because I think you get the upkeep on every upkeep, I think what it is at the beginning of your upkeep, bring a creature back pretty much, and he can block. And I think this is mainly just a blocker thing. Now, if it is next end step, then that means that the next turn you have him, you'll be able to attack with him once, and then he'll be gone on that end step. That's what I'm wondering. We'll see. Look it up online, do some research behind that. Let me know in the comments below if that's what you think it is. I personally think it would say exile it at your end step. Exile it at the end step, then that would make more sense. But it says exile it at next end step. That next word really is getting me confused here. But look it up. Let me know what you guys think. And I'm going to move to the next card real quick. Okay. Now, we have a first striker. 2 for a 2/1. First strike. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Kind of interesting. This guy isn't amazing. I like that he's first strike and 2 for a 2/1. That ability right there just really is really nice. Now, the non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Now, they're obviously not gonna... He's a legendary, so you can't have more than one him in play. But it's kind of interesting because if you do get a lot going on where you have a lot of enchantments and sorceries and instants in your deck, this guy's going to kind of hurt you. But if you have just a straight up creature deck, no, instants or sorceries or anything like that, this guy's a pretty good addition. And it's going to put pressure on the people that have the removal spells, the draw cards, to actually pay an extra 1. That's pretty interesting. Now, this next guy is probably my favorite guy in white, and you're going to see why. 3 for a 2/2. Tap him and put a 1/1 white human creature token on the battlefield. That's cool already. You keep making blockers. You keep building up an army. But there's a new ability that just came out in this set, and it's called Fateful Hour. Now, these all are the exact same for this, except they all have a difference in ability. Now, as long as you have 5 or less life, that's the whole thing. A lot of the cards that you see that, you have to have 5 or less life for this to happen. Other creatures you control get 2/2. That's nice. It's a good late game thing. And you keep putting 1/1s into play, and they can eventually, if this is a late game thing, you're trying to just stay alive, you're putting 3/3s into play. That's pretty nice for a 3 cost creature. I was seeing a lot of updates coming up a while ago, and they would show, a couple cards here or there, and I've seen some pretty cool cards, and I'm looking forward to looking through the rest of the set. So look for that. That's his white, and the next color that I'll be posting will probably be blue. So look for that in the next one. I'm going to try and put these up as quick as possible, guys, because I know you're going to be drafting like crazy this weekend, and I want to help you out as much as possible. Till next time, I'm Luke G, and I'll see you later.